Welcome to the threesome, y'all. This is the podcast where the three of us try to discuss at least three topics each week. If you just found us, we're glad you're here, and we apologize in advance. If you're back for more of us, then we thank you for putting up with us once again. So, I'll introduce us. Our point person and optimistic realist is the lady named as Star.
Hello, good people. Welcome to the threesome.
And our man in the middle and our voice of reason, we call him Magic.
Sympathy is somewhere between shit and syphilis in the dictionary.
Okay, it's a whole lot of words between. Anyway, bring up the rear. As always, I identify as the pragmatic contrarian of our group, and they call me Storm. So,
Back, bitches.
So, I don't really deal with stuff on the internet, but this week, because I told you I dogs and sports is pretty much my milieu on the internet, right? So, because
And
of
murders.
the sports angle, I'm sorry.
Said and murders, but go ahead.
Oh, well, true crime, sure. Ooh, there was a good one this week. Well, never mind. Anyway, the husband did it. The husband always does it. But anyway,
Lifetime.
no, just life. It's just what that is.
Yeah,
But
Lorena Bobbitt.
she didn't kill nobody.
It wasn't for lack of
I'm talking
trying.
about murders. No,
I mean, technically,
no,
Charles Manson
she
didn't
didn't.
kill anybody, but the hoes working for him did.
She didn't try to kill anybody.
I'm talking about Charles Manson's fans.
Okay, well, I'm talking
It
about
was
Lorena
killing.
Bobbitt. She wasn't trying to kill nobody. But anyway, um, back to the issue at hand. So one of the things that I heard about is this Mike Tyson airplane thing that went on, and which is funny, right? Um, So anyway, Magic, if you want to tell the people, you want to recap the situation with Mike Tyson for me, like what had happened
So,
was.
a guy that had reportedly been getting drunk at the bar before he got on the flight by several different people just happened to be in a seat behind Iron Mike Tyson and apparently never saw The Hangover. So he's sitting there harassing Mike for a while, and there's some guy across from him filming it. And then the film cuts out for a while. The next thing you know, Mike is throwing some love taps. He wasn't really going for the kill. You see like 5 punches, and then you see dude's face all beat up. He wasn't looking like Martin in that one episode, but he caught a couple lumps.
Uh,
He deserved it.
I mean, he did some heavy bag work on dude's head, but here's what bothers me.
He wasn't
Okay,
cocking back. He was just little calm it down, son type punches.
okay. Reportedly the dude was harassing Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson wasn't giving him anything. Like he had asked him for
Nah,
a
he was chilling
photo,
at first.
and Mike obliged and took a photo with him, and then the dude was sitting behind him and wouldn't leave him alone. And then I guess when he couldn't get a rise out of Mike, he threw a bottle, like a plastic bottle, at the back of his head.
What?
And how dare you, right?
That's assault.
Well,
Pow,
exactly.
zoom.
And here's what bothers me. about the internet. Now, popular popular belief is that dude deserved every bit of what he got, and that
I'm with it.
he was and that he was out of line, and that it was funny as hell that Mike went off on him. But popular consensus is also that dude is probably going to get paid as a result of this. And I object, Your Honor.
I do
I
too.
object because if I'm Mike Tyson, I will spend every crying dime I have on attorneys just so you won't get none of my money
Not a
after
damn
that
bit of
bullshit.
it.
Because I am petty in just that way. And so Mike Tyson, if you're listening, and you're not, because you're not, but if you're listening,
I'm gonna
don't
need
you
you to
settle
have
with
bigger
that.
dreams.
Don't you settle with that fool. Okay? Take that shit to court. Because if you get a jury of your peers,
Yep, you make an example out of his ass.
and I am your peer, okay, I would apply the law in this case. And the law is you don't start none, won't
It
be
won't be
none.
none.
Okay? So I feel like Mike should not settle with this dude. He shouldn't give him a crying dime. Like, I don't even care if it costs more money to go to court.
Then
I
it
will
does to
bankrupt
settle. It's the
I
principles
will
involved.
I will bankrupt you going to court
Yep.
before it even bothers me. There ain't no skin off my back.
Yep.
We will take this shit to court. No, I'm not settling. No, because because your ass got exactly what you came looking for. So bye bye.
Don't come for me unless I
Frankly,
say
I hope
so.
it goes to court and he wins. So next time I'm on a plane with a badass kid behind me, I could three-piece him real quick.
Ah.
I don't think that's the same thing.
Kinda. Tomato,
Mm,
tomato.
well, I mean, I don't know Mike personally, but he's come a long way. So, I ain't gonna put that on him.
Marijuana is a hell of a drug.
Well, that too, but with age comes a little bit more wisdom as well. So
Yes.
there's that. But yeah, so that's all I had to say about that. Anybody else?
I'm with you. I want the whole thing to go to court. I want them to make an example of his ass, and I want them to run and drag the decision if he wins through the media. Like they do every fucking thing else to teach people, like, look, leave these damn celebrities alone. Just because they're in the public eye doesn't mean they're at your disposal in every fucking whim. Leave them alone. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
It
Well,
is Iron Mike fucking Tyson.
that's what I was going to say. In
Like, why
particular,
are
is
you
Mike
messing
Tyson.
with him? Right.
You clearly know who he
Internet
is.
attention.
Yep,
Mhm.
and
He
that's what
got what
that
he wanted.
was.
Yep.
Because yeah, he knew. I think he knew he was being recorded. I don't
Yep.
even know. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
because
know
he
if
was
that was
looking at
his
the dude
friend.
recording him.
Yeah, I don't know if that was his friend recording him or if that was just some rando. But I know he knew he was being
Random.
recorded. But yeah, yeah, he got what he deserved. And like, if I'm Mike, I wish you would come at me with an attorney. I wish you would. Because I'm not paying not one medical bill or one crying dime to you. And like, they would have to squeeze that shit out of me before you got anything.
Even before the age of all this, internet shit, we working in radio, encountered quite a few stars and, done some public, like going to bars and different things like that. And there were still quite a few people who would get like really upset and start taunting like the celebrity, especially if the celebrity didn't have time for an autograph or you know, didn't want to stop and, take a picture or anything in that nature, like they would really like freaking get upset and like start booing or taunting the celebrity. Like you just figure because they are a celebrity, they owe you their, they owe you their time and attention. And that's always
Exactly.
been some crazy shit to me. So it's whatever.
I
People ain't
agree. I agree. But that notwithstanding, if you're gonna pick a fight with Mike Tyson,
You're an idiot.
that's on you. Yeah, you're a fucking idiot, and that's on you. So I ain't got nothing for you, man.
Got nothing for you, man.
Right? Fair
Jackass
play
just
got
fucked the whole
problems of
world
his
up.
own. Yes, but see, and like those dudes that do those walking up to random people and punching them for clout, and recording it. Like, one of these days you're gonna run up on the wrong person,
The wrong
and
mother.
you're gonna punch somebody and
Boy.
try to run away, and you're gonna get shot in the back, and
Yep.
then you're gonna be like, "Oh, poor me! All I did was hit him." Well,
I was
first of
just
all,
joking.
exactly, it was just a prank. Well,
Consequences and repercussions.
there are consequences and repercussions. Exactly. Y'all think the internet has y'all thinking that y'all can just do whatever the fuck y'all want and no harm will come to you.
Hmm.
But in real life, people
Don't
can punch you
you
back.
believe it? Sorry.
People hit back in real life. That's all I'm saying.
That's
So,
Hit
like
the
them
right
people like
people.
during Halloween, they be out there
Oh,
scaring folks and
we're
them
gonna
them
make them
look like
hurt.
a scarecrow or something like
Kill
that
the
and walk
white
up on
people.
somebody and scare the
oh
shit out
yeah,
of them and they punch them in
Kill
the
yeah.
face.
America
And then they get
first.
punched in the face, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody doesn't react to fear
But
by running
fear in the
away.
same way. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Because, see, I'm one of those. I might punch you.
Fight, flight, or
You know what
freeze,
they
and there's a lot of fighters.
There's a lot of fighters. Exactly.
I'm going to either fight or flight. I very rarely freeze. So you don't really want to gamble with which one you might get,
Exactly.
depending on the circumstance. But hey,
Coincidentally, why I don't
Yeah.
go to haunted houses.
I
I'm
love haunted
sorry.
houses. But see, you expect to
Oh,
be scared there.
well, exactly.
Yeah, I don't
Like you
like that
sign
shit.
up for it there, but I
Yeah,
don't do. I don't do haunted houses either because no.
I
For
do.
that reason, because I feel
It's
like
fun.
Get
I
fucked up in
I
your
feel
little
like I might
costume.
because I feel like I might accidentally punch somebody for jumping up behind me. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's just a reaction.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to living in the hood PTSD. Woohoo!
Right.
Well, I can't claim that, but
I can. Well, and even though I can't say I grew up and like the hood I was hood adjacent,
Adjacent.
but
Yeah. I was in and
yeah,
out.
well, I was more barrio adjacent, if anything, but you
you were
know,
what?
Barrio.
the barrio,
Oh,
which is
Barrio.
yeah. Um, but anyway,
What
so
song is that? Never mind. Go ahead.
what song is that? I don't
Anyone
know.
by any Mexican ever?
Right. This is for la raza. Anyway,
Kid Frost, Mellow
um,
Man Ace, one of them.
And I believe it is Mellow Mayonnaise. I believe it is him. Him or he or either what's dude
Cypress
that
Hill.
passed? What's dude that passed?
Got me.
oh,
Ah,
Pun.
who?
You talking about Big Pun?
Big
Big
Pun.
Pun passed?
Big
Did
Pun
he?
been dead. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't
He
even know
died
that.
like around his second album.
I didn't know that. Or I don't remember it. I never was
Pulling
really
your hip
cared.
hop card immediately.
Listen, I never really cared for Big Pun, him or Fat Joe.
Really?
Uh-uh.
I
Um,
mean,
There
you
was
know
no
what?
dead in the middle of Little Italy. Nothing.
You know what?
Pack of the
Fat
back of the
Joe is
back of the
funny to
act. What are we
me.
talking about here?
Yeah, Fat Joe is
and
funny to me, but I liked Pun.
what was my man's name that passed? Oh man, short guy. Came out around the time of Mellow Man. I can see
Rico
him. Never
Suave?
mind. Who?
I don't
He passed quite a few
know.
years ago too. Anyway, keep going. I'll remember who it is.
Okay, well, I was about to switch topics because my fur brat is here hugging his little Gumby doll, and it is the most adorable thing. And I figure that this is a good time to switch into
Bestiality
pet
kink?
owners.
Oh,
No,
Mm.
lunatic. uh,
didn't know where you were going with it.
visitor etiquette for pet owners.
So I go over to a person's house. Person has
It
a dog
sounds like
about
it's
the
about me.
size
Oh, go ahead.
of yours.
Aw.
Maybe a little bigger.
For those who haven't seen her dog, what are we
I was
talking?
just getting ready to say, probably,
Oh,
what is your dog? About
yeah.
7 pounds? About
Oh
seven to
no,
10 pounds?
yeah, he's about 10 pounds. So
It's a
yeah,
punting
Okay.
dog.
So this dog, and
I
actually,
wish.
this dog was
Okay,
probably,
remember the law because I wish a motherfucker would. Go
well,
ahead.
so, so anyway, dog's about, I say about anywhere between 12 to 15 pounds. So not too much bigger than your dog. So I'm
Okay.
over there and it's me, the baby, and my daughter. And so the dog is curious, of course, about the baby. They have no kids in the house, and I don't think they've ever had any really small kids in that house since they've had the dog or whatever. So the dog's really not used to small kids. They just see this little small little person walking around and probably think like, oh, this is something for me to play with, right? So dogs after the baby. Now, the baby's not really like screaming or crying or anything, but the baby is like trying to get away from the dog, constantly
Because the
running
dog
away
is a
from the
lot.
dog, whatever, trying to avoid him. The dog's trying to
Yeah.
Word.
play. So, you as a pet owner see this, okay? See the baby, trying to get away from the dog and not really crying, but whining or whatever. What would you do?
Well, you know what I would. Well, first of all, you know what I would do because you've been over here with the baby, and my dog loves the baby. Like my dog thinks that the baby belongs to him.
Well, for the purposes of the listeners, what would you do?
Okay, so
Easy answer.
what?
Put the dog up.
What I
Alrighty.
always do is I keep the dog away from her because like she doesn't even whine about my dog. I don't know why. I guess because she's so used to my dog, but because I don't want my dog to be all up in her face. Like that ain't right.
No, and
So
it's
I just
Jeremy. It's Jeremy, and it's just whatever. So
yeah.
you
Well,
know,
yeah. And I know that my dog loves people. And even grown people, if my dog does a little too much, I'm trying to get to this person and it's clear that that person doesn't want to be bothered. I grab my dog. I mean, my dog is 10 pounds. I pick the dog up and I'll just hold the dog because, you know, because that's what it is.
here's my thing, and I'm pretty sure if anybody will write in about anything, pet lovers will probably write in about what I'm getting ready to say, but I stand by this. Okay, first of all, I've been a pet owner. I'm not a pet owner now, but I've been a pet owner and I love pets, love animals. Okay. However, if you are inviting someone into your home, I give less than two fucks about how folks feel about, oh, well, it's the dog's house. It's the dog's territory. They live here. I'm not about to lock them up or send them into another room because somebody else is over here. Because there's a lot of people who fucking feel like that. And here's my thing. If you invite a person into your house, why would you want your guest to be uncomfortable in your home? If that dog is, if you're trying to work or do something or do anything and that dog is fucking getting on your nerves, you know what? Damn, that's the dog house. You're going to put his ass in the basement or the bedroom to get him away from you. Okay, so you can
Okay.
do what you got to do. So what's the difference when a guest comes
Okay.
over? Especially when it comes to a baby. Okay, because
Well,
the animals, hold on. The animals
okay.
don't know no different. The animal knows no difference, right? The animal's not
Right.
even trying to be, harmful to the child. But if the child is afraid of the fucking dog, put his ass up. I don't
Okay.
even understand how you can sit up and watch your
Okay.
guest, adult or child, but especially a child, okay, be constantly harassed by your animal. And not only do you not put them up, you only say something to them like one time, like, oh, go sit down, whatever. That shit is
Okay.
Tell
rude.
them why you mad, son.
Here's
That shit is so fucking rude. Why would you invite folks into your house to be uncomfortable? And that's my whole thing. Don't do
here.
that. Put your animal away. It is not going to kill the dog, the cat, or whatever animal you may have in your home to either go upstairs and chill out for a minute or go downstairs and chill out for a minute. But don't sit up and let your animals constantly harass your guests. That's bad etiquette. Is rude. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's unnecessary. Don't do that. Now,
Okay.
you can talk.
Here's my thing as a dog owner and a pet lover. Like, there are people in this world who are just afraid of dogs. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter that my dog is not going to harm that person. Um,
Mm-hmm.
our kids have a friend who has always, like, since infancy, been afraid of dogs.
Oh, you talking
Um,
about E?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes. Like,
Oh
I
yeah, she was terrified.
yes, terrified of every dog, and there's no talking. There's no talking to her about it. There's no, this dog is not going to harm you. That child is just, I don't know. It's just innate in her that
So
she's
she has a
terrified,
fear.
that she has this fear of dogs. In the same way that it's innate in me that I just love them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we are polar opposites. Like I love everybody's dog. And matter of fact, people get mad at me because I call their dog my own. Like if you have a dog, that's my dog. That's just what it is. I'm like, oh, how's my dog? And they're like, that's my dog. I'm
My
like, whatever. Yeah, I let you feed it and
dog.
and
And take care of
and
it.
take
Take
it
it
to
to
the
the vet.
vet and
Pay the
take
bit. Pay the
yeah,
vet
yeah,
bills.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
But it's
Right.
really
Right.
my dog,
Yeah.
But
The nerve.
the nerve, right? But yeah, so I mean, if there's a situation like that, because now I have taken that person over to my brother's house, and my brother has a big dog.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, you know that dog.
Mm-hmm.
A big German Shepherd, the sweetest dog ever, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
would not harm a person.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, that child was shaking so bad. I was like, okay. Um,
We gotta go.
well, no, I was like, we have, we'll put the dog up for now. You know what I mean? Because so fearful, and also we weren't staying long. So to your point, we weren't staying long. Put the dog up. It's not gonna. It wasn't going to kill her.
But
you
and
know.
here's my thing. Even if you were over there for a little while, you understand?
However,
It's not
however,
inhumane.
well, and I'm gonna tell you this because, however, I have been over there where they've had guests because they like to, they like to entertain. Where they have had guests like all day. You know what I mean? Like all day. And I hear my baby crying in the other room, and I'm sorry. Like, I'm not letting that baby cry like that. Like, that breaks my heart as well. But also, I know that that dog is not going to be up in people's face and not going to be, you know what I mean? And also, again, there's not someone there that's just in innate fear. They're just like, oh, that's a big dog. I'm afraid of big dogs. But they're not like shaking fear. And generally, once and it's not even my house, but once I go over there and I'm like, oh, that's my baby and she cannot be in there crying. So, when I open the door and let her out and she's in there and I'm giving her tummy rubs and everything, and then people get comfortable with the dog. But again, she's not jumping on anybody. So, I mean,
But when you
it,
have a person like to me, that's just like a person who, let's just say, has pet snakes or pet alligators, or anything in that nature. A lot of
this
people
is
are
about me, huh?
afraid. Well, except a lot of people are
Got an
definitely
alligator?
afraid. I mean,
I
there are
had a
people who have
crocodile.
pet alligators. But I'm just
Nah,
saying,
I've
like,
seen it. I just didn't
let's
know
say a
she had
snake.
one.
Oh,
No, I had a crocodile when I was growing up. Like I had a crocodile for about a month, and then
but
my
there are
mom was
people who
like,
keep
"Nah,
lizards and snakes and things like that. And
yeah,
if you are somebody who's afraid of those, animals, you wouldn't want to go over to their house and they basically got the snakes living on. Well, it's the snake's house. I'm not gonna put that snake up. You understand what I'm saying? The snake go wherever it want to go. You would think that's absurd, but
let me
it's the
tell you."
same. It's the same concept. I'm sorry, it's the same concept. The thing.
Listen, listen. This is funny though. Well, it's funny to me. It probably wasn't funny to her. Um, when I was in high school, my high school biology class, sophomore year, me and my lab partner, she was deathly afraid. Like she hated snakes. She was so afraid of snakes. And we sat next to the snake tank, and there was this. It was a garter snake of all snakes, right? It's a damn garter snake. His name was Flaka. Shout out to him.
Mm-mm.
So sometimes
Flocka?
Flaka, yeah, that was the snake's name. That's what we named him. But anyway, sometimes I would get to class before she got to class. And I love the snake because I'm a reptile person. So I love the snake. So I would take the snake out, and that it was the '80s, right?
Mm.
Um, Flash dance years. So I usually had on two shirts, right? Like I had on a tank top and then a shirt over it. For those of y'all who were not alive during the Flashdance era, trust me, a lot of people wore two shirts. So I would put the snake down in between my shirts because snakes are cold blooded. So he would love to be in the warmth. It was like a heat rock to him. So I would do this so often, and I wouldn't even think about it, right?
Mm.
So one day I'm sitting next to her, and we're in class, and all of a sudden she screams this blood curdling scream. And the next thing I know, she turns over our lab table, the chair, and she's at the back of the room. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And she's pointing at me, and the snake had worked his way and peeked his little head out of my
So you took this snake to school.
No, 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 no,
He
no,
was
no, no.
he was the school
Already
snake.
there.
So
He
you
was the
decided
classroom
that you was
snake.
just gonna sit there and cuddle with the snake in class.
Well, not just in class. Sometimes I would take him like between classes, like and I would have him like out in the quad or whatever. But yeah, he used to scare a lot of people by coming up out of my shirt, going, "Hey, what are y'all doing?" But it was a
Mm,
garter snake, for goodness sake. But anyway,
yeah.
but
Um.
anyway, I digress. Now, when I had the crocodile, I understood why people kind of didn't want to, but that was a whole different issue. But anyway, reptiles,
Love
phenomenal
black
animals. But
titties.
no, I'm sorry.
Reptiles love black titties.
Um, okay. I would never have ever put the crocodile between my shirts. I didn't trust him like that. Chico was not to be trusted, y'all.
Who was not to be trusted? Oh, he was not to be
Chico,
trusted.
Chico,
The
the
crocodile's name
crocodile.
was
Yeah,
Chico. Mm,
yes, he was not to be trusted.
got it. So yeah. Just to finish off my little rant. Again, anything that you are afraid of for you pet owners who have that mentality, like, oh well, it's the pet's house and I'm not putting my pets up in this, that, and the other. Please think about this. You're thinking about it's just a common everyday household dog or cat. But what if you went over to someone's house and you were definitely afraid of mice or rats or snakes or birds or whatever? Okay. And
I got so many funny stories. I'm
that
sorry. I,
person, that person, basically would just let them roam around the house freely. Okay.
yes,
And
yes,
that would be, that's that reptile's house. They live there. Okay. But you're
yes.
afraid of it. Think about how you would feel about that the next time, you want to
Listen,
sit up and let your animals harass folks. That's that.
listen.
I'm done.
One of my friends in college had an iguana. Well, I had an iguana. She had an
Which is
iguana.
something else people usually are scared of.
Listen. So they had a ficus tree in the living room,
Mm-hmm.
and the iguana would always like to be on that little tree.
Because they eat the leaves.
Well, it was a ficus; they wasn't even real leaves. But he just liked to be up there. But because he's an iguana, you couldn't really see him.
Mm.
So we were all sitting around one day, and I knew the iguana was there because he was a baby at the time. You know, I knew the iguana was there because I always looked for him. When I came in.
Mm.
But I had a friend who he was about 6'8", 325 pounds,
This is
and
about
we
to
were
be
talking.
bad.
We were sitting there talking, and then all of a sudden, the iguana
Hmm?
like moved, and the tree shook, and this motherfucker.
Poor thing.
I mean, he was the only one. Like, he's the biggest one out of all of us. The only one scared.
Oh, fear knows no size. Leave him alone.
Oh, remind me to tell you about the time.
Terrible person.
I am. I am a terrible person. We were we were walking back to the door one time. It was me, him, and a couple of our other friends, and he had to use the bathroom, so we ducked into one of the old. If you've never been to Michigan State, there's some old ass buildings on campus.
Yes, they are. There
Yeah,
are.
so so we ducked into one of the old ass buildings, so because he needed to use the bathroom, and he's civilized, so he ain't just gonna be peeing out in the open, right?
Mm.
So so we're waiting for him in the hallway, and next thing I hear is this blood curdling scream, and we're looking, and then we see him come running out of the bathroom, and behind him is this tiny little bat, just waddling behind him with wings spread out, like what are we scared of? What are we running from? It was the funniest thing I have ever seen in my life. Okay, I'm done. But yeah, yeah, don't terrify people with your pets.
Don't terrify people with your pets.
I mean, it is funny, but
Oh,
it's
it
not
clearly
cool.
is funny to some folks.
Listen, I don't take a whole lot of, I don't know, I don't have a whole lot of humor in folks being scared, but I will say I have one little short story. When I first moved into my old apartment, my grandmother, who at the time was probably about 87 years old, she wasn't moving as quickly as she used to, but she got around. She didn't need a cane or anything like that. And my mom, who probably moved slower than a 87-year-old person, because my mom is just dramatic in that way. And so anyway, when I moved into my old place, I think I had been there for about a week or so. And we were walking down this long hallway that it would take to get to my old apartment. And as we passed the laundry room, there a bat had gotten into the building. It was a little bitty thing. When I tell you, that is the fastest I have ever seen the two of them move, especially my mama. My mama had so much get up and go about her, and my grandma was coming hustling down that hallway. I was like, what's the matter?
Was this
I was
was
like,
this in
what's
the
wrong?
tower?
Huh?
Was this in the towers?
Yep, it was in the towers. And I
Oh
was
wow!
like, what's
And then
wrong?
you have
What's so
no,
bad? It's
and
a
you ain't got
bat.
no place to, you ain't got no place to go in that
You ain't got no
hallway.
place to go, exactly, except for to get back on the elevator or go down the steps. So I was like, it's a bat in hell. I went taking off like, like, come on, what are y'all doing? But that was pretty funny because it was kind of like, it was more like they were nervous, scared, and not like terrified. I don't know. I don't get a
Yeah.
whole lot of enjoyment out of people being terrified.
Okay.
Um,
I'm sorry. When someone, when a big old 6'8" person is being chased by a little a little 3-inch bat. And let me add, the bat was not flying at him. The bat was just walking. I think he scared the bat. I think the bat was like, well, if that big motherfucker is running, I better run too.
Terrible. Terrible. Aww.
It was funny. I'm
Fear knows
sorry.
no size. Fear
I
knows no
suppose.
size.
I suppose. But yeah, yeah, don't let your pets be all up in people's faces because I mean,
Licking on them and shit, especially some
yeah,
baby.
I mean, much as I love dogs, there are a lot of people who don't,
Listen,
and you
I
just have
never
to.
hurt an animal. But I'm telling you, when I tell you I contemplating kicking that little motherfucker like a football, I'm sorry. Like, get out this
Well,
kid's face. I would
well, don't kick the dog. Kick the dog's owner because that's whose fault it is. The
I keep
dog just
telling
being
your
the
ass,
damn
get
dog.
out.
Man,
Keep telling you stop. Oh, ill mannered pet. Anyway, go ahead.
so, Magic, anything to contribute?
I was just letting y'all rant. I've said before on here that women that have a dog is usually a sign that they want to have a child, and if you have a badass dog, red flags. Keep your nasty ass pets and children away the fuck from people,
Mm. Yeah, and children, by the way,
especially children.
because well, especially right.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, I know how much you don't like animals, so
Oh, you
Oh
don't like animals, Magic?
no, I don't like bad animals. Like if a
Mm.
bat runs up on me, I'm not going to run out the bathroom screaming. That's like I've been shot at. Fuck, I'm scared of something I can kill with my bare hands. What kind of goofy shit is that?
yeah.
Terrible. It's
People are
terrible.
funny. I'm sorry. People are just the people do funny things, and yeah. So Magic, you asked
Yeah.
me
Oh.
if I
Nah, forget that.
care.
I gotta tell y'all about the monitor.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
in India, and y'all can look up this story in your own time, there was men, 4 or 5, I forgot the exact number, that decided to gang rape a monitor, then kill it,
Ew.
cook it, and eat it.
How is that even biologically possible?
I don't know.
I
Them
mean,
little
I
things are
guess it.
scrappy.
I mean, I guess it is, but ooh,
That's what
nasty
I
some
said.
bees.
Yeah, they're
Oh my
currently
goodness!
facing
It's
charges and out on bail for
okay.
all of it.
Here's what I want to know: how do they know they did that? Like who was out here? Like this is what we did. Like, I mean,
Listen, ever since the Columbine thing happened, I've been like, where do you find these friends? Like, I get any one person could come up with that dumbass idea, but how do you
But
get
somebody
three or
to
four
join
friends to
you
go
on that
along
stupid
with it?
shit.
yeah, yeah. Hmm. Ew. Aw, poor
Rape a
In
monitor.
so many
monitor.
ways.
Poor
And those get
reptile.
up to like 3 feet, don't they?
Yes, and that's why I asked when you said you were going to talk about a monitor, and I said, "Ooh, how big was it?" Because I assumed you were about to tell me they found some giant monitor, that was bigger than one that they had ever
They
seen,
found an
and I was going to
attractive
be
one.
fascinated. Ugh. Well, I mean, they are handsome, but
Ugh.
ugh.
Let's not in this moment.
Right. Um.
well, I mean, I mean, I adore reptiles, so.
But handsome,
But
though. Handsome.
well, I mean, they are. They are. They're not pretty. They're more of a handsome. They
But
have more of a
handsome.
handsome look to them. Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Better
definitely
yet,
not sexy. Definitely not sexy. I mean, my God.
don't try
Like,
to
how do
clean that
you
shit up now.
even get it up to rape like a monitor? How do you?
And that's what I'm
Around your
saying.
boys.
Like the biology of that, and the poor thing. Like, oh, that poor thing was probably screaming bloody murder. Oh, that's just terrible. Yeah, they deserve to go to all the prisons. They should do like
More
a
importantly, does that count as snowballing?
ew.
Just wondering.
Ew. Ugh.
Okay,
Anyway,
so
Didn't
on
I
to
tell
less
you
filthy
people
shit.
I'm visual? Like, ugh.
right? Yeah. You have a knack for that bullshit. Cut it out.
Who? I was trying to change the subject. Fuck.
Anyway, so you had asked if I care about what my new boo's exes look like.
Blech.
I think I
Um,
find that weird that so many people do.
Care is a strong word. Like I wouldn't care. Um, I might be curious, depending, but I wouldn't care.
What
You
makes
know.
you curious?
Okay, let's say like Nia
Um,
Long was his ex.
no, I wouldn't care. I mean, I wonder what's wrong with him. You know what
Yeah,
I
go
mean?
on that
Like,
road.
huh?
Say go with that
Uh,
one.
yeah,
Explain it.
I wonder what's wrong with him, but
Why?
because like what did you do? Like, what does she know about you that I don't? But I mean, yeah, like that would that's what that would be. Like, I would be very curious as to how that relationship ended because I can't imagine that it would have been his choice. Like, so you must have done something stupid or something like that. But anyway, I would just be curious
See, I disagree
Hmm.
because I'm nosy.
I
Hollywood hoes
disagree with
ain't
that
crazy.
because attractiveness definitely doesn't equate to being emotionally stable.
Sane.
Well, no, that
Um,
is absolutely true.
and
That
some
is
people's crazy, no matter how fine they are, is just too much to put up with.
Well, that's
Um,
absolutely true, but I would want to know that. You know what I mean? Like I would be curious, like, ooh, like how crazy is she? Like tell me, like let me know because it's just interesting to me. Like human psychology is very interesting to me.
well, I'll say this. Um, it just kills me to hear multiple people when they break up with someone say, "Oh, her game ain't even as tight as mine. She ain't got no degree. She ain't got no her car raggedy. Her house this. She fat that. Blah 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 blah." Okay,
Oh,
so
well,
all
no,
of
What's
these
none of
good
things,
though?
all of these things that you deem of high value in yourself. Okay, this chick doesn't have. However, she got your man. So
Ding ding ding
that.
ding
Well,
ding.
he ain't
Sanity.
my man. First of
I
all,
don't even.
but
I mean, I'm just saying she got somebody that clearly,
yeah,
you
no,
know.
I don't care.
I've never listen. I I've never really cared about the previous, or I've never cared about who they dated previously, and I never really cared about who they dated afterward. Now, I will say this, just out of pure curiosity, I'm if
Right.
I have the opportunity, it's like, oh, okay, that's who they date now. But I'm not gonna get mad because she 120 pounds and I'm not. Or
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't get mad about it, or I wouldn't be like, "Ooh, you dated so and so. I'm inadequate," or "You dated so and so. I look better than her." Like, no. I mean, like I said, it might be morbid curiosity, but it wouldn't be. Yeah, like I wouldn't care.
So you want to know the
I
story,
wouldn't.
not the appearance.
I want to know the story, right?
I don't even really particularly care about the story. Like in my mind, when I think about the majority of my exes and I end up finding out what their current look like, I think to myself, run, girl, run. Or I feel kind of bad for him.
Um,
but I'll say the majority. You know what I mean? Like she looked like she really too nice. She's really too sweet to have to go through that bullshit he about to put her through. Whatever.
oh well, I don't even go through that much evaluation about
Yeah, I do.
someone who
Sometimes
anybody
I
who
be
comes
like,
yeah anybody who
look like a
comes
nice
after
girl,
me I
poor
don't
thing.
anybody who comes after me I don't give a fuck. But to be
I
fair,
laugh.
I mean, yeah, but to be fair, if it's somebody who came before me, like even if it's not a celebrity, like I always want to know
A
about.
celebrity.
Well, he's talking about me along.
Yeah.
But I always want to know, or even if it's not somebody beautiful, like I always want to know about your prior relationships.
Yeah, I don't. I
And
don't care.
I do because for one thing, um, I leopards don't tend to change their stripes, spots.
Ba-dum.
Which do leopards have?
Spots.
Spots.
Okay, thank
But
you.
wait a minute. Hold on. So who are you getting this information from? You're getting it from him or them?
Well, yes, and here's the thing. I have always said, if I ask a dude about his prior relationships, a lot of times I can eliminate a dude when he talks about his prior relationships because, like,
How he
I was
refers to her.
how he talks about his ex
Yeah,
exactly,
got you.
how he talks about his exes
Yeah.
because to me that's a snapshot that could be a snapshot of the future. You know what I mean? If he refers to all his exes as bitches and they just this and they just that and they all did him wrong,
That's a no for me anyway. I can't stand
that's
for a
what I'm
There's
man
saying.
to
one
refer
constant
to
in all
women
of
as
those.
bitches.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if they all did him wrong, I'm like, really? They all did you wrong? Like, you never had any culpability in any of it?
Or
And
he just a
if
sucker.
yeah, so if that's what I'm hearing from him, then I mean, I can't expect him to own up to anything. You know what I mean? Because now I've talked to dudes and they're like, well, yeah, she did such and such, but I can't lie. I did such and such too, and
That's usually
and
my
it
story. Like,
and it
yeah, I
just
did some
wasn't.
shit
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and we just weren't right. That I can
Mm-hmm.
respect. So that's why I'm saying I
Mm-hmm.
always want to know the story. Like I always want to know, like how
Mm-hmm.
did we get here?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't ask that because people have a tendency of being really one sided when they tell stories, and you know,
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, I
yes, and that's
don't.
why I asked because I need to know that. I need to know that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
now, if you're like, this last person did me wrong. Oh, well, what about the person before that? Yeah, well, we just weren't compatible and blah, 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 blah. That's different. Because maybe the last person did do you wrong. You know what I mean? Maybe the last person did do you wrong, but everybody didn't do you wrong. Like,
mm.
like everybody you were with.
And if everybody did, what does that really say about, like, are you gullible? I mean, what is that about? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it means you have no self awareness, is what it means. Because there's something
Or
discernment,
that you
no awareness of
contributed
who
to
you
that
fucking with.
situation.
no
Well,
discernment.
no, yeah.
Yeah. That's the
So
word. You got bad taste.
either way, it tells me a lot about you, and I can't. So that's why I'm always curious about the story behind past relationships. More so than what this person looked like.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah. I guess at the most establish a pattern.
yes, exactly, exactly. You know how people say, well, people don't just say it; it's actually true. If you have a friend that every time someone leaves the room, they're running them down and
They
talking
running
about
you
them like
down
a
when you walk
dog,
away too.
when you walk out of the room, they're doing the same
Yeah.
thing to you. Yeah. So, I mean, it's the same thing with, I was going to say with men, but also with women.
Thank you for keeping it
If,
real.
yeah. I mean, if this is how they talk about their exes, chances
They're gonna be
are
Darn
talking
it.
this
about you if you become
that's how they
their
gonna end up talking about you, when it comes down to it.
mm-hmm.
No matter how nice you are to them, no matter,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because maybe you just not feeling them and you don't want to be with them, but it's always, you're still always gonna be, that bitch that did this to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's better you know that early.
Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me.
What the hell are you drinking?
Nothing. Probably why I got the hiccups.
Do something about that.
I
Right.
shall. I shall.
It's what, 10:40 at night? Good time to start drinking.
Yep.
Yep.
What's the score, by the way?
That both of y'all agree with that. Fuck is wrong with y'all?
Well, I mean, some of us are insomniacs. We need a little something, something
Yeah,
To
we should
help
have
us
started a
relax.
minute ago.
from time to time.
To help us relax.
Yes.
Mm,
Anyway,
drugs are bad
my
and
dog
kill
is
you.
whining at me.
He wants you to what?
He's whining at me.
Tickle that
So,
good.
it what? Ew. It's about that time.
So,
That's how you.
Hey,
thank you
I
for
hear you.
listening this
Hush.
far into it. If you like the show, tell a friend, tell a foe, tell a hoe. And if you don't, tell everybody you know. It's the Threesome Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, the Threesome Pod on Twitter. We might show up on any of them every now and then. I don't know. Anyway, thanks.
Good night,
Peace. Go get
folks.
some. Oh, shout out to Bodacious. I was at the taping of his comedy special last night with this big booty chick. And I don't know when it's coming out, but the shit is good.
All right. Well, we're out. Bye, y'all. Gotta go walk the
What you
dog.
about to do?
Gotta go walk the dog.
Fucking the
Fuck with the
dog.
background vocals, dog.